Hello, my friends. So today's birthday card reading is for September the 8th. Those people born on September the 8th. This is a four-card reading for you, a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome card or synopsis card of the energy. So what is the card for you for this year, September 8th? It is Aletheia. And aletheia is truth. You know, when a profound truth is stated, everybody feels it, everybody agrees with it, everybody often can sink into it. There's an understanding that passes through a room when a speaker says the truth. There's an understanding that passes through a world when a speaker says the truth. And it's often the uh, the senses of, a lot of our world is not about the truth right now. A lot of our world is about gaslighting. A lot of our world is about shaping things to fit a narrative that helps someone versus hurting someone else. A lot of our truth is bound up in our fears and bound up in our guilt and our shame, and not wanting to be seen in that way, not wanting to let those things out that might hurt us or might change the styles or things that we have fed to ourselves. So, but the truth is the ultimate um, releaser of pain. And oftentimes, when we can tell the truth, when we can air the truth, when we can say what is really in our hearts and really in our minds, and really at the root of our fear and our challenge, then we can air them. And they might change our world and disrupt our world, but there's a release. There's an energy that opens us up. We don't have to hold these negative energies inside of us and try to protect ourselves all the time. There's so much energy that goes toward protecting ourselves and keeping ourselves from, don't say that to that person because you don't want them to know that, but don't say that to those persons because they don't want to know that, because then that might backfire. So we're always couching our honesty, our truth, underneath our fears and underneath our pain. And but the truth can set us free. So this is a year for you, September 8th, where you get to look at truth, and if what truth means to you from others, what truth means to you within yourself, and how free you can be to state the truth, state the unequivocal truth within your soul, and release yourself from some kind of old pain that might have been keeping you locked up and tightened up and getting sick. Because to not release the truth can often make us sick, mentally sick, and that mentally sickness can go down to the physical levels. So this is about healing yourself this year. Your challenge is about the Ten of Wands. And I think the Ten of Wands is, the Ten of Wands is about that place of fire, that place of passion where we have risen from the passions that were often not necessarily the right passions for us to pursue. Maybe they were things that were addictive to our pleasures. Maybe they were things that kept us from venturing out because we were afraid. So we stayed at home and did these things as opposed to going after what really fed us. So and we learn to listen to ourself on the big levels and make changes and adapt to new life and to new change. So what is the Ten of Wands telling us as your challenge? Well, I think the Ten of Wands is saying it might be time for you to change some kind of passion. A 10 is often, a change card. It says, I've done all these things toward this one goal for a very long time. I recognize the many depths of shadow and light. I recognize the many places where I've been inspired and when I've not been inspired. I recognize that something has drawn me cosmically, astrological lineup to go along my path and to move towards something that spoke to me on a deeper level, on a passionate level, on a sacred level, and I've learned how to dance that dance. So, what's your challenge? If that's the upside of this card, well, the challenge is for you to trust yourself that it's time to change. And it's time to recognize that there's another energy that's calling you, and that it can't still be just the same purpose that you had before. The truth is telling you that something is not fitting in you anymore. Something is not making sense for you anymore. And possibly there's something old that has been in your way, wants to come out and be shared and be said. And that sharing and that telling of your truth, and it feels like this is a moment of truth for you this year, may change your world and change your life. And how do you step into that? How do you let things change when you feel like you need to tell the truth but you're afraid to? Because you know change will happen from it, but it can be a change that can set you free, but you have to go through that change and come out on the other side of it, thereby, aletheia, telling the truth can set you free. So what is the action that you can take? Well, it's the raven. I think raven is, that connection between shadow and light. It's that divine messenger. It's that being who can tell the truth, squawk the truth. The raven has many words. The raven has 27 words, I think is what it is, that allows them to speak a language that is their truth. And they take advantage of that to, raise their families and ride the ethers and live their lives and go between the dark and the light, meaning go between one's intuition and one's intellect. And I really like that level of what dark and light means. So this is about, you have to trust your intuition, and you have to trust the messages that are coming to you, and they're going to be magical messages, magical messages that are coming to you this year. You just have to be open enough to listen. And as the Ten of Wands, if most of the time you're going to be really clear and clean and able to hear those messages. But if something is scaring you about something that you need to share in the world, you might be giving into old fears that are putting you into really hard places to get out of, and dark places to really hear the truth and speak the truth from. So the raven is here as your ally to help you speak the truth, to help you squawk out the words that you need to squawk out into the universe, so that you can be free to fly again, so that you can be free to go through the shadow and light once more with a sense of truth and clarity and purpose and divinity, and to not hold yourself back as a divine child anymore, as a divine spark of light anymore. And that's the last card, the synopsis card. Divine child of light, soul cards, no interpretation other than what is intuitive. So sitting on the side of a mountain high above it all, sitting in great meditation, having a great halo of golden connectedness to, humanitarian visioning, to dreaming, to widest aspects of knowing and widest aspects of sacred purpose. So you're being led to some place where maybe you're going to be a teacher in a new form. Maybe you're going to be a student in a new form, but you're going to come to a place where you can be really healthy again. Healthy again. And you won't have to stop yourself because you're afraid of what you need to share. And you can share, and people will appreciate you more for your sharing, and people will look to you with respect. If you come at this with humility, if you come at this sharing with deep trust and deep humility and deep respect, and if you require forgiveness, you can ask for forgiveness. If you can then forgive yourself and be able to move on from it and let people deal with it as they deal with it, but they need to do that. You can be free. So this is about you becoming free in yourself and really listening to yourself and opening yourself up and letting something shine that can shine in a way that's positive, in a way that speaks and heals other people, and in a way that people will want to come to you to talk about and be led by, because you have some great understandings and some great teachings. That's what you've been looking for all your life, 10 of Wands. There's some kind of purpose around speaking your truth and living your passion and creating your spark, using your will to spark something divine in the cosmic plan of beingness. So blessed be to you this year. I hope.